No, you're good. For those who are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. We will now have our land acknowledgement read by Director Allen.
On behalf of this board and the Cherry Creek School District, I would like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the ancestral and unceded lands of the Cheyenne, Arapaho, Ute, and Oceti-Sakowee people who stewarded it for generations. The Oceti-Sakowee includes 7 bands, so I would also like to recognize that over 40 additional tribal nations likely use this area for trade, ceremonies, and social gatherings.
Thank you. I'd like to call for a motion to approve the agenda for the May 12th, 2025 regular Board of Education meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
I'd like to call for a motion of the approval of the minutes as listed on the May 12th, 2025 agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will now have our reports from our board, starting with Director Allen.
Good evening, and thank you to Principal Stewart and the Laredo community for hosting tonight's meeting. And as always, thank you to our security and setup teams who work tirelessly in support of our meetings. As we near the end of the school year, I want to begin by congratulating all of our graduating seniors across the Cherry Creek School. You've reached an incredible milestone, and we're proud of each of you. I also want to thank the dedicated educators, teachers, support staff, administrators, and coaches who have helped guide our students along their pathway of purpose. Finally, I thank our superintendent, Mr. Christopher Smith, who reminds us that every student matters every day. And congratulations to the Eagle Crest High School boys varsity volleyball team for their state championship win this past Saturday. What an outstanding achievement to those student athletes and their coaches. I have decided to use my time tonight to speak on an issue that is deeply personal to me, but more importantly, directly tied to our district's values and strategic goals of 2030 universal literacy, and that is the early dyslexia screener. Far too many families in our district watch their children struggle with reading year after year, unsure of why nothing is working. Some families eventually are able to pursue private evaluations and intensive tutoring, but must do so by spending thousands of dollars and only after enduring years of stress, frustration, self-doubt, and so many tears. The emotional toll on our children and families is enormous. And the reality is many families simply don't have the means to access those supports. Right now, dyslexia identification is a point of privilege, obtainable only for those with the right combination of time, money, knowledge, and access. But what about all the other kids? Recently, Senate Bill 25-200 removes those barriers. It ensures that every child, regardless of their zip code or background, receives early and complete screening to detect signs of dyslexia before they fall behind. It moves us away from a wait-to-fail model and towards a model of early, equitable intervention. Colorado is just one of 7 states that does not currently require a universal dyslexia screening, highlighting the urgency of proactive measures. We have an opportunity to be on the leading edge of real change. This aligns directly with Cherry Creek's strategic plan, which calls for universal literacy by 2030. We cannot meet that goal if we continue to miss or delay identifying the very students most at risk. The window for intervention is short. According to the Colorado Department of Education, students who haven't mastered third grade rarely catch up. And those who aren't reading proficiently by third grade are 4 times more likely not to graduate from high school. We can't afford to wait until 2027 to act. That delay would mean another full class of children, potentially thousands, will go without critical support they need. Other large districts, including Jeffco, Douglas County, and Boulder Valley, are already implementing universal screeners ahead of the state requirements. We should join them. I believe in public education. It's the foundation of our democracy. Early literacy is the first stepping stone in helping every child find their pathway of purpose. When we teach a child to read, we unlock their ability to think, to speak, to understand the world, and to change it. I ask that we consider implementing universal screening ahead of 2027, not because we have to, but because it's the right thing to do. Thank you. That concludes my comments.
Thank you, Director Allen. Director Bates?
Thank you and good evening. And welcome to all of you attending in person and online. Thank you to Mr. Stewart and Laredo Middle School for hosting us this evening. I especially appreciate those that help to ensure that our meeting runs as it should. Last week was Educator Appreciation Week as well as Nurse Appreciation Week. I would like to give my own personal thank you to all of you that give so much of yourselves to ensure that all 53,000 students are served to the best of your ability. It was so much fun seeing the many ways that our schools celebrated their staff. May is also full of celebrations. My colleagues and I have been celebrating with many schools that have earned banners reflecting their successful commitment to our core values in CCSD. Last week, we were able to celebrate the retirement of our many educators. Always a bittersweet night seeing many great educators heading off to their next adventure, but so thankful that many will be back after retirement to sub in our district. Also, thankful for their service as well for the many years. It also really hits home when your own child's first grade teacher is retiring and you realize that he had her 18 years ago and is now a teacher himself. We also have celebrated McDonald and her induction into the Legacy Wall of Fame. Overland High School hosted a reception where Miss McDonald was honored and the plaque that will hang at Legacy Stadium was unveiled. Thank you to Miss McDonald for her many years as a CCSD staff member, 8 years Board of Education Director, and countless hours as a CCSD parent and grandparent. And it won't be long before her great-grandchildren will be attending CCSD as well. Ms. McDonald always reminds us of the importance of our positions by asking the question, how are the children? Shortly, we will be honoring our graduates, and I am so looking forward to those long, rewarding days. Stay tuned for their next adventures. I could go on about celebrations all evening, but at this time I will allow others to have their say for the evening. So thank you.
Thank you, Director Bates. Director Egan?
Good evening. Thanks to Laredo Middle School for hosting us here this evening. We appreciate our technology setup and safety and security teams for everything they do in preparing for these meetings. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and mother figures in our lives. And congratulations to the 55 district retirees with 1,337 years of collective service that we celebrated at last week's retirement dinner, as Director Bates mentioned. It is no small thing honoring the educators who have devoted their careers to the students of the Cherry Creek School District. They truly do make a difference. I'm reminded of one of my favorite quotes from Margaret Mead: "Never underestimate the power of a small group of committed people to change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has." Graduation season is here. The class of 2025 graduations will take place in person and will also be live streamed. The dates are May 16th and 17th for I-Teams Manor and Ranch, May 17th for military service, May 21st for Cherry Creek High School, Elevation and Endeavor, May 22nd at the Ritchie Center for Smoky Hill, Eagle Crest, and Grandview, and May 23rd celebrating Cherokee Trail and Overland, also at DU's Ritchie Center. Among our distinguished district graduates are 4 Bachelor Scholars and 776 industry certifications. Congratulations, graduates. Over the past few weeks, it's been my honor to also visit many of the 14 high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools that received the John Irwin Award from the Colorado Department of Education, recognizing academic achievement and growth during the 2023-24 school year. 3 elementary schools, Trails West, Willow Creek, and Walnut Hills, also received CDE's Governor's Distinguished Improvement Award, which is given to schools demonstrating exceptional student growth over time. The Hollies Elementary School and Overland High School groundbreaking ceremonies are taking place this week. Please join tomorrow and Wednesday if your schedule allows. Thanks again for your tremendous support of the 2024 bond, which is making these projects possible. Thanks as well to all of our students, staff, parents, and community members who took the time to contact our lawmakers and visit the state capitol during this past legislative session. Your advocacy makes a big difference in the lives of our 53,000 Cherry Creek School students and all public education students across Colorado's 178 school districts. You can continue to support our local sports teams and the Cherry Creek Schools Foundation with our upcoming community nights, where a portion of your discounted ticket goes back to support CCSD students. Cheer on the Colorado Rapids on July 4th, or root for the Rockies on May 23rd and 25th. Also mark your calendars for the Foundation's golf tournament on Monday, June 2nd at Saddle Rock Golf Course. I'll be there. Our students, you can be too. It's a hole-in-one with this special event. The final 2024-25 school year Voices of Color meeting was held at the Cherry Creek Innovation Campus in April, as well as the district's Indigenous graduation celebration this past weekend. We're fortunate in this school district to have so many year-end celebrations across academics, activities, and athletics, which you'll hear about in tonight's presentation. Of note, the West Area Art Show, a unique collaborative project between Dry Creek Elementary and Cherry Creek High School. The district's summer food program provides free breakfast and lunch from June 2nd through July 24th, Monday through Friday, for anyone aged 18 and under with no registration required. Details are available on the district website under Food and Nutrition Services. In May, we also recognize Jewish American Heritage Month and Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month to honor the contributions these individuals have made to the wider American community. All my best during this busy and joyful time of the school year with graduations and year-end celebrations. This concludes my comments.
Thank you, Director Egan. Director Knowles?
Thank you, and thank you to my fellow directors for your comments. I really appreciate it. Good evening, and thank you to Laredo and everyone who makes our mobile boardroom possible. I like to say May is short for mayhem, especially when finishing up a school year. So much is going on. And as we wrap up the school year, I want to thank everyone for your part in the Cherry Creek School District. Thank you for showing up every day for kids. Thank you for your dedication to our core values and our strategic plan of improving current literacy practices, focusing on the whole well-being of students and staff, and in tackling disproportionality, ensuring all students thrive regardless of where they are in their learning journey. And to our board's sole employee, Superintendent Smith, I'm going to move this way. Thank you for all that you've done and how you poured yourself into this school year. As I've told you before, I believe you are uniquely qualified to be our superintendent in this space and time and helping us to continue to successfully navigate state and federal challenges. You consistently and bravely uphold the core values of the school district. You surround yourself with experts in their content and know how to successfully mobilize them in service to our students and staff. You are highly effective in engaging with our community and mobilizing them when needed. No other school district in the state did what you and your team did in getting thousands of parents and community members to contact state legislators about school funding. Your work was not only on behalf of our kids, but kids across Colorado. Your ability to connect and be vulnerable with people is unmatched. I know you have a job that's 24/7, 365, but I do hope you get some R&R this summer, and I look forward to continuing the work with you. Thank you. That concludes my comments tonight.
Thank you, Director Knowles. Many of my comments have been already spoken by my colleagues, so I will turn it over to Superintendent Smith.
Thank you, President Garland. So a couple of things I just want to say, you know, as Director Knowles said, this is a busy time of year. Two things are true. One, it's exciting. It's fun. We get to see our students graduate. Assistant Superintendent Molnar will talk about all the celebrations that our students have accomplished this year. But it's also a time when our students realize their structure and their support is about to change significantly. And as we talk through many of our conversations around discipline, behavior is a message. Behavior is a story. And the story is they love you and they want to be with you. And when they know they can't, they struggle. So as we think about these times and we think about our students and them realizing that's going to be very, very different over the summer, please be patient. Please show grace because they care about you and that's what they're telling you. To our graduates, I'm so excited. I think we have over 4,000 off to their new pathway of purpose. Amazing, amazing students. Our students are brilliant. Our students are diverse. And our students are powerful. As we went down to the Capitol and had conversations, I truly appreciate the Board of Education going down and working and making sure that we saved the funding for public education in the state of Colorado. But, our students changed the tide. Our students were the ones who asked the hardest questions. One question that was asked is, how can you look me in the face and then take my future away? That question was never answered until they put money back in the School Finance Act. And I thank Cherry Creek because, as our lobbyists shared, Cherry Creek was the advocate for the state of Colorado. And I'll tell you why. Because public education matters. Public education is the foundation of this country. And we will continue to fight for it. And we will continue to battle because it's important. And I want to say thank you to the Board of Education, unpaid volunteers who give countless hours of their time, and they all have one similar focus. Kids matter, and kids deserve the best. And I appreciate that. Ms. Bates, Director Bates, thank you for your heart. Thank you for your volunteer time. Thank you for bringing food to our school pantries. Thank you for bringing clothes to those who don't have it. I appreciate you so much. Those little things make massive differences in the lives of kids. Director Allen, as you spoke tonight so eloquently, thank you for your advocacy for literacy, ensuring that we have what we need to get to 2030. President Garland, thank you for your focus on athletics and activities, ensuring that our students are well-rounded and they get what they need. And a strong focus on me of getting orchestra back at the elementary level. I'm trying. I know it's been 2 years. I'm working on it. Director Egan, for our LGBTQIA communities, and a focus and a strong resolve around mental health and pushing me to ensure that our students have what they need because they can't learn if they're not healthy or not present. Director Knowles, thank you for being the voice of some that don't have one or think they don't have one. Thank you for constantly putting yourself first. Thank you for pushing our team to ensure that equity matters in this district. I thank you. And I thank this board. Think about what has been accomplished these past 4 years. We passed $1 billion bond. Mr. Stewart, you're getting a new school. And thank you for hosting us tonight. We built Traverse Academy, the first of its kind in this country. We created Leadership Academy, the first of its kind in this country. We created Aspiring Educators, the first of its kind in this country. and had an opportunity last Friday to share with the Commissioner, Susana Cordova, and growing our own teachers inside of Cherry Creek. She told us she was inspired, one of the most aspiring things she had seen in a long, long time. And if we can do those things, I have no doubt that our students will be reading at grade level by 2030, because this is Cherry Creek and that's what we do. And I'm proud and humble to be the superintendent of it, but I can't do what I do if it's not for the Board of Education. So please continue to focus on what that means. This summer, we're up for an election next year, and it is incredibly important that we have the right people in the right seats to continue to push this district in the right direction. And lastly, to our staff, those here tonight and those working tirelessly through May, thank you for making it a brilliant school year. Our kids have been changed forever. I share all the time, when you show up, you make a difference in the life of a child and a colleague every single day. Whether that's a good impact or a negative impact, there is one. And so we will continue to see the brilliance in our students. And my focus is that every single employee sees the brilliance in every single one of our students and each other. So I want to say thank you for a great school year. I'm looking forward to graduations. That concludes my comments, and I'd like to invite Assistant Superintendent Derek Molnar up to share our celebrations this year.
Good evening, Board of Education. Thank you for allowing us time to just celebrate tonight of the class of 2025. We're going to highlight the schools in alphabetical order. We're going to talk about some academic achievements, some social impact that they've had. And we're going to highlight 9 students, which will really kind of bring to light our purpose of a pathway of purpose for every single kid. So we'll highlight some kids tonight along the way. But again, just appreciate your value in this presentation every year, and just ensuring that we end the year on a positive note and celebrate the successes of our students. So we'll start with Cherokee Trail High School in terms of the highlights of Becher scholarships, Daniels Fund scholarships, their seniors demonstrating academic excellence, with 343 taking 773 AP exams. They are a school focused around the theme of Be Kind. They've really embraced that theme, and 20,000 hours of community service, variety of school events, and the Be Kind campaign. It's an amazing environment. Kids are thriving there. One student who I was able to speak to, Chukidi, he grew up in the feeder, went to Coyote Hills Elementary, and when I was able to speak to him a little bit, he elevated his experience. I talked about like if there was one adult in his pre-K through senior year, anyone that stands out to him. So there's one individual in the room here, Miss Latoya Tolbert was the principal at the time, and he said the assemblies in elementary school were amazing, and I think it's a testament to Mrs. Tolbert and just her ability to lead that building at that time. And then he really elevated Mrs. Bowens, and it was a story about Mrs. Bowens, who now is the principal at Timberline, that really took me back in terms of he is going to be in law school, he's going to be a lawyer, and it was her passion around law that really inspired him to kind of find that pathway moving forward. So we were able to celebrate Mary in front of ADCO this morning too, and she didn't really know that she had that impact. So kudos to her for understanding kind of like her role with all of that. So really, really special young man there. Cherry Creek Elevation, 2 Becher Foundation recipients in a class of 61 students, which is amazing. They are very proud of their panorama and their SEL data. 84% of students reported having a trusted adult, which is higher than a district average. And they really were celebrating their brick days in terms of increasing their attendance. Those are the days that they have in-person opportunity for SEL work and just in-person tutoring and additional just connections with their teachers. One young man I was able to connect with, Bryce Hunter, incredibly smart, athletic. He's going to change this world, and we are in safe hands with all these kids after hearing these stories for sure. He wanted to highlight Mr. Pauly, his English teacher. You know, he said, you know, Mr. Pauly was always there for me. He had him as a teacher for 3 years. He was always there to offer just incredible advice or even just play a game of chess, you know, during these brick days. And on the previous slide, you know that was one of their point of celebrations. A really cool quote that he gave me was, he was like, you know, Mr. Mulder, this is where the magic happens at Elevation, is inside of the brick days. You know, in terms of like the flexibility of being an online learner, being able to engage at a pace, and still, you know, lots of people have different stories around why Elevation is a great fit for them. But those brick days is really where it all came in to him. He is a Betcher Scholarship winner, and he just won state swimming just last weekend. So he's on a great way to start his post K-12 career. Cherry Creek High School Points of Pride. They are a John Irwin School of Excellence Award winner, 25 National Merit finalists, and an astounding 356 seniors with more than a 3.75 GPA. They are very passionate about their unified program, so they had a very successful unified prom night and basketball game. And as a parent as well, I was a part of the Future Bruins night a couple times. And you know, one of the things I was able to tell the staff as we were celebrating the John Irwin Award with them is their ability at Cherry Creek High School as a parent to make this school feel small. And it really is around the relationships that they have with students and families, and I feel the same way. This young man, Jackson, has a really cool story. His dad is a history teacher down in Colorado Springs, and he had, like you said, less than 300 students in his whole school as a private school. He wanted something different. And his parents were really nervous about him coming to obviously a school that almost has 4,000 students. This young man, in a couple years, became student body president of Cherry Creek High School and won a state championship in soccer with the team. He previously broke his leg too the previous year, which meant the state, you know, even more impactful for him. So this young man, I was just like completely just, you know, taken back about he's so polite, he's so calm, he is just a fierce person for humanity and doing good in the world, and just the ability to come into a large comprehensive high school like that and be president was really pretty cool story for me. He wanted to shout out Mrs. Provost tonight, his student center advisor. He was always able to look up to her and always pointing him in the right direction. So again, that large school feeling small, he definitely felt the love and was able to experience a high degree of success. Innovation Campus, obviously I think we've talked about, they are one of the top 100 schools in the world, which is just an amazing accomplishment. And you see some of the highlights that they have around just the brilliant teaching staff that they have there, right? And we know in Cherry Creek that it is the adults that teach students, and it's not the curriculum that teaches students, right? So they have a staff that is passionate about their area of expertise, and man, the service that they provide our kids who really want to find that pathway regarding their next steps, whether it be college or workforce, is really incredible. Maddie was one of those kids that I was able to speak to, and her passion for CCIC came through her teacher, Mr. Manley. He's an automotive teacher, and she just said he really envelops the core value of what it means to have a growth mindset. He encourages you to make mistakes because that's the only way you are going to learn. And she says he makes funny jokes all the time in class too. So they have a lot of fun. And the thing about CCIC that she told me that she really loves is just this ability, like I can apply the science and the physics that I'm learning in class directly to the hands-on activities and the job embedded learning that they have at the CCIC. So Maddie was a really special kid. Eagle Crest High School, again, a ton of celebrations from the academic standpoint, 129 AP scholars. The class of 2025 has Betcher and National Merit finalists and one Crestbridge scholar. Their homecoming parade, I don't know if anybody has been able to be there, but it is pretty remarkable, right? It's a very, very special. They take a lot of pride in it. Over 40 parade entries, and hundreds of spectators lining. And a shout out to the security staff, who I know I always hear them on the radio, kind of like helping to navigate through the neighborhoods and everything. So, Mr. Van Leeuwen, thank you. You can't say I never mentioned you in a Board of Education speech now. So. And you know, just the pride that Eagle Crest has when it comes down to just celebrating the beautiful culture that they have, right? And I was able to speak to Jada Ward, found out that there was a reason why her voice sounded familiar on the phone, is she was the MC for the Cherry Creek Schools Foundation Gala that night, and she was also the MC the previous year at the Transformational Equity Experience. Mr. Garcia ERTs shared that with me this morning. And talk about a bright light of just passion and just someone who I know is going to change the world. She's going to the University of Oregon to be a Duck. She wanted to highlight Miss La Ferrera and Mrs. Kim, and just encouraging her to take risks and really showing up as her true, authentic self. So again, having that highlight of being able to be an MC in front of hundreds of people. And she comes across as an introvert. She does not come across as an extrovert, but right when she gets that mic, man, she is right at home, and she is an amazing kid. And again, I would like to shout out her. You know, being able to connect with these young adults and their families was just really special, to be able to take a moment of time and just telling them thank you for what they've given back to us as a district, because we learn so much from our kids, right? So really, really special kiddo that Jada is. And with Endeavor, they have 80% demonstration, 40% are consistently making honor roll. Their outdoor educational experience is second to none when it comes to the high school experience. And their leadership and entrepreneurship ventures, we highlighted a teacher there. He basically is starting their own kind of Shark Tank. They're creating you know, projects and looking to be, what does it mean to be an entrepreneur? So a lot of celebrations there. And I was able to connect with Sage, and this quote actually comes from a song, and I think it's pretty brilliant when you think of it, because this song there's a ton of sarcasm in this quote, and this song speaks to being misunderstood and being misidentified by friends and those closest to you. So I think that there's a lot of brilliance, and one thing that I really learned when I was calling these families is when you can see their faces and you can see their quotes, sometimes you think you might know who they are. This young lady is amazing, and I asked the kids two questions. One, what's one of your favorite memories, and would you like me to shout out a specific educator while I share with the Board of Education, you know, your wonderful journey? So she was the only one. They all said, this is so hard, Mr. Molnar, for you to make me pick like one teacher. Like everybody was able to do it, but she said something really profound to me, and I think it speaks to the culture of what Endeavor offers. She's like, if I shout out one, I can't shout out all. So I'm not going to tell you any of them, and it's not because I don't have them, but at Endeavor, we are a family, and Endeavor, we are a community. So I just thought that really shows who she is, and just that collectivism that they have in Endeavor, really special. And her favorite experience was the 3-day camping trip that they have, and I didn't know that they went for 3 days. Like, that's a long time to be in the mountains with students and with kids. But she said, you know, when you can put your cell phones down and you're out in the woods and you just can really authentically connect with folks, the relationships that she had with her peers and her classmates, she's like, she will take that with her forever. So it was awesome connecting with Sage. With Grandview High School, 3 Daniel Scholar recipients, 1 military appointment, 9 merit finalists. They have a student journalist of the year for the state of Colorado, which was a huge celebration. And obviously, we know that their girls' basketball program is amazing, and they won state. I was able to connect with Mia Schlichting. She's an awesome kiddo. She shouted out a teacher, Mr. Southern, who is deaf and hard of hearing, and she took sign language for 3 years. And she had never signed before that, and now she's a full-time ASA signer. She's taking that into her college with her, and what she wanted to tell me about Mr. Southern is that just the way he really brought about deaf culture for her was just so inspiring for her. So you can just hear it in her voice. And she had a hard time, you know, talking specifically about any one event, but she's like, my senior year has just been amazing, whether it's girls flag football or just getting on the Spirit bus and go and visiting our elementary kids with the elementary feeder schools and everything. So she is just an amazing kiddo who has a really incredibly bright future. I-Team's Manor, Points of Pride. I think this slide, if there was one slide that really embodies the pathway of purpose, this is it. You have students that are moving on to military service. You have students moving on to 4-year universities. You have students moving on to the workforce, and you have students engaging in community college. Again, how they support kids at the Manor really just matters. You know, they have amazing educators there, and providing an experience that allows kids to really show up in their true selves. They have a boat race. I believe one board member spoke to the boat race in one of their comments, I believe, this year, but it's an amazing opportunity to embed some of the learning around math and science, and it's very highly competitive as well, and just the CTE tours that they take around the state and around the Front Range, and just encouraging people to find their pathway of purpose is very inspiring. For Overland High School, Betcher Scholarship winner. They have Daniels Fund Scholarship winner. Their new student academy in the hub, I was there the other day, and you just see kids in there working incredibly hard, getting the support that they need, and that is a really, really special place that they have over there. So piloting a new math capstone graduation option in probability and statistics, so expectations are high there and the kids are meeting them. The social impact of just 18 languages represented in 19 attendance is decreasing. So many, they're using Panorama SEL data to really hone in on the individual experiences of kids. I was able to speak to Hannah, and I really was excited to speak to her because I think this quote's really amazing and just speaks to her drive, high expectations that she has for herself. She went to Eastridge Elementary as a student, and when I asked her about anyone specifically that stands out to her in terms of her pre-K-12 career, she was like Mrs. Douglas at Eastridge. She stayed after school with me and my family in the library and taught my siblings and my mom English on her own time in the library after school. And that sense of gratitude that she had for Mrs. Douglas, you could hear it in her voice. And again, talking with her mom, you know, just our families are just amazing, and they have so many gifts and so many strengths that they offer the educators and administration in their buildings, and Hannah and her family is no exception to that. One of the experiences that she loved is playing the tuba, so that kind of took me by surprise too. She's like, it's a little heavy, and sometimes it's, you know, hard to kind of continue to hold it up, but learning piano and learning tuba was one of her highlights in high school. I-Teams Ranch, similar to the Manor in terms of just really focusing on meeting kids where they're at, right? Having high expectations of college and knowing that if you have a goal to go into the workforce, they're going to make that happen for you. Their ACE and their CTE tours and their greenhouse project are huge celebrations and spotlights for them. For Smoky Hill High School, exceptional accomplishments in literacy. They were the first school to meet the district goal of decreasing their students on read plans. And they wanted to specifically talk about their 9th grade literacy growth for 70 medium growth percentile, which is huge. And their panorama data in the spring of 2025 is 78% of Smoky Hill students have identified a trusting adult in that building. They work hard to build relationships. They are a leader in restorative practices, and we really appreciate about them. And over 142 staff members have been trained in restorative. Shojay is a student that me and some of our EdOp team and district leadership met. She took us up on the invite to get some practice interviews for the Betcher Scholar. She is, and then she was able to receive the Betcher Scholarship, so that's huge. And she looked familiar also because we go to Smoky Hill High School to celebrate their AP and their IB program at the end of the year. So she, one of her favorite memories that she has is being involved in the Palmer Family Singers. So the AP/IB kiddos, they dress up and they lip sync, you know, and they just dance and they just have so much fun. So she said that was a highlight for her. And her English teacher, Mrs. Lewis, really talked about the importance of just writing and sharing her voice, and and just the impact of having that, just that adult speaking truth into you, and having that adult really giving you the courage to find who you are and your voice. So in total, the class of 2025, you see the academic achievements, really amazing when you think of more than $38,000 and counting in scholarship money that are earned, 12 military appointments. So much to celebrate when you think of the students here in our incredible school district. This slide is always cool because when I know you can't see it right now, but you guys have a copy of it, but each time I look at this slide, something different pops for me in terms of all the different athletics and activities that we offer our students. Our students are highly engaged in our schools. We have some pictures here to really bring that slide to life in terms of what does that engagement look like when it comes to athletics and activities. And I would like to specifically highlight Larry Bull and his commitment to really the high expectations and the service that we provide for kids to make sure that they have that outlet of engagement with our programs. Theatrical performances in all of our schools. When you look at the talent that we have, and I know that Ms. Garland, you've spoken to this too. We even have a play at Dakota Valley Elementary that you attended this year. So the arts are valued in Cherry Creek schools, and these kids shine on the stage, and it's a really amazing experience. You can pick up and go to any one of our high schools and buy a ticket for any theatrical performance, and you'll be blown away. Community service projects, again, growth mindset, our commitment to relationships, our commitment to engagement and equity. We have numerous community service projects that our kids were able to gauge into, and here are some of the pictures and to help elevate just what those experiences look like when you look at the smiles and when you look at just the celebration of community, right? So we have a class that includes 4,175 graduates. 1,745 have attended since kindergarten. And we are just so proud of the kids. I would really like to celebrate just the teachers and the passion that our teachers pour into our students every single day. And what I shared this morning at ADCO was these slides and these students, while we were able to name the experiences of 9 of our students, I would offer that so many people in this room are champions for kids who made a difference. So thank you to the educators that are in this room, and your leadership matters. And I was very humbled to be able to do this project, be able to talk to their families and be able to talk to these kids to just get a sense of like, what was your experience? And we also know that there's a lot of things that we can do better in this district as well. And that's why the catalyst of our core values is growth mindset. So thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about our celebrations and our class of 2025.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Director Allen, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I'm just so excited we take time to celebrate our incredible students like this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Director Bates, any questions?
Thank you. I don't have any questions for you, but something that I just noticed runs through all of our schools and everything is kindness, diversity, equity, all of those things are so important in all of our schools,
Yeah.
as well as the academics. And when we see the academics and we see the awards that these kids are receiving, so much is tied to all of those things together. And I'm just so proud of all of these kids and where they're going and what they've done. So,
Yeah.
and I too would like to applaud all of our educators, because without all of our educators, this wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bates.
Thank you. Director Egan?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mulner. I
Absolutely.
always look forward to this.
Yep.
I don't have any questions, but just a couple comments. I mean, we truly do know that CCIC is a special place, and just the difference it's making in the lives of our students has been really, really great to see the growth and progress around that.
Yeah.
In terms of my high school, Cherry Creek High School, and the school that my students, my kiddos went to, I agree with the student who said, I'm blanking on his name right now, but you're...
Jackson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who said that it's able, Cherry Creek is such a huge school, but it's able to be made smaller
Yeah.
just by the type of programming and the things that happen there. So, you know, I can't agree more with that comment. And then I guess I'm so inspired by the story of Bryce Hunter at Elevation too,
Yeah.
to think that he's one of the our Betcher scholars.
Yes.
And to hear that experience, because I know that during COVID, us trying to lean into that as a district, and thank you, Superintendent Smith, too, for all of that, those efforts. That was just such a challenging time, and to see that that kind of education works for so many of our students
Yeah.
is important as
Yeah.
well.
And, if I could just, highlight just Mrs. Hart, and she's joined the EdOp team, and just all the amazing things that she did for Elevation during that challenging time of having to adjust for the numbers. And I mean, Christy,
Yeah,
your
she's-
leadership was amazing and a
Yes,
huge
she's
testament.
here, I think.
Yep,
Yeah.
right there.
Yes, thank you. And then just one last comment. I was thinking about this today when I was board meeting tonight. It's so important that we keep focus on the arts in our school.
Yeah.
And I was really glad to see that you included this. I knew that you would include this, but that makes such a difference to our students' education. And I am concerned about certain narratives around that, not in our district, but because we are so solidly committed to that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Director Egan. Director Knowles?
Thank you so much. It's always so fun to hear about the celebrations. And I agree, it is really good to celebrate our arts as well. And I know sometimes that can be quantified in different ways that there are competitions, but it can also, just in general, the qualitative arts that we have.
Yeah.
And then I think some schools are quite humble, but I think we've had quite a few athletic championships, like a lot,
Yeah.
in some of our schools.
Yeah,
So
we have, yeah.
I've lost track,
Yeah.
honestly. I don't know if there's a list, but I've lost track of how many there are.
Yeah.
It's just neat to see. You can tell we're getting further from COVID. I know we don't talk about COVID as much, but just life and coming back on all ways. Trips returning to schools that hadn't happened in 4 years, other things like that. So it is really nice to see that. And I will say, I'm wondering with Overland's 18 countries, 19 languages, I wonder if that's for the hub, because I know they have, I feel like they have a lot more countries
right.
and languages represented than
Yeah.
that, but maybe they meant in that subgroup of kids
That could
who
be a
came to the
reflection
hub.
of the newcomers that they have.
Yeah, the
and,
newcomers.
all
That's
of
what
the,
I'm wondering.
the strength that they have as a school because of the students that
Right,
are,
right.
Yeah.
I think they have more than that. but-
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I don't really have any questions either, but I just want to again commend Superintendent Smith and
Yep.
the entire leadership team. I believe when I started here, I felt like we only had 6 high schools, but now to see that we have 9 because we asked the question to Mr. Smith's question, like which kids, right? And so if all means all,
Yeah.
we have to expand and also just have a growth mindset on what high school and graduation and their pathway to purpose looks like for all of our students. So yes, I will be excited when we get orchestra back in elementary. So, but again, just seeing the kids and their stories, it's always just so heartwarming. And I'm thankful for this community, for what it's done for my family, and then obviously what it's doing for all of our upcoming graduates and our up and coming students. So just thank you for all your efforts, everybody.
Thank you.
Are there any follow-up questions or comments? Okay. It is at this point in our meeting that we make time for members of the audience who have completed the online public comment form prior to 12 noon today to address the Board of Education. In order for everyone to be heard, please limit your comments to a maximum of 2 minutes. A buzzer will sound at the end of the 2 minutes, and the microphone and audio will be automatically muted. Each speaker may only speak once during public comment. Speaking time may not be shared between speakers. This is your opportunity to make comments to the Board of Education. In accordance with board policy, it is not a question and answer session. Please confine your comments to matters that are germane to the business of the district. Further, please recognize that students attend most of our meetings. Any speaker whose statements or behavior are unrelated to the business of the district, appear threatening or unsafe, or inappropriate for K-12 students may be interrupted or warned and their opportunity for comment terminated. Audience members who speak are asked to do so in a respectful manner, and the audience is encouraged to listen respectfully. Any speaker or audience member who disrupts the good order of the board meeting, including the speaking time of others, may be asked to leave. We are very interested in your feedback and will listen carefully. On behalf of the board, I want to thank you in advance for your comments and for taking time to come to tonight's meeting. Mr. Koenig, could you please read our guest speakers for today?
Sure. As I call your name, please line up behind the podium. Excuse me. Remember to state your name at the beginning. Leo Salcido, Mike Mindy Albert, and Carly Holiday. Are you Leo? Nope. Okay. There's Leo.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Leopoldo Salcido, but everybody calls me Chucky. I came here tonight to address the resignation of Overland High School's band director, Ryan Monarch. You may or may not know the situation. The district failed Mr. Monarch and his students. He was giving a very unfair trial. Months after he was sent to HR, the district sent agents to interrogate us without our parents' permission. These agents asked us illogical questions, clearly trying to dig up any dirt on Mr. Monarch. It felt like they weren't even investigating what he did, but rather attacking his character. Mr. Monarch was a vital part of our community. He started this job in 2014 with only 20 students in the band. Now, there are around 150. He saved my life when I had no one, and I'm not the only one. He did the same for many others, both current and former students. The district left the OH band unprotected and placed us under the supervision of a very corrupt performing arts department. Since he's been gone, the other teachers have been treating us like puppets for their own benefit. I may be graduating next year, or next week, but I refuse to stay silent while the students who remain and the ones who are yet to come are left in this environment. I could go on for hours, but unfortunately, I do not have that kind of time, and neither do you. Please hear our call. Thank you. Have a good rest of your evening.
Good evening. My name is Mike Albert, and I am here with my wife tonight to be perfectly blunt surrounding a serious safety incident that involved our child at Trails West Elementary last October. Due to undeniable staff negligence, our child was left lost and left and locked outside of the school building, unsupervised and vulnerable. We promptly notified Principal Whitaker of the incident, and the initial response we received felt dismissive, as if the incident was insignificant. After an in-person meeting with the principal, we still felt that the corrective actions did not demonstrate the level of accountability the situation demanded. On March 30th, we contacted Mr. Toby Aratola, requesting a meeting about what actions the district takes when a staff member is responsible for endangering a student. 6 weeks have passed without any response. For an issue of this magnitude, that silence is not only unprofessional, it is unacceptable. This incident has left a lasting emotional impact on our child and a deep sense of betrayal in the staff. There is no justification for allowing an employee who placed a child in danger to remain employed and in a position of trust with the district. When the district fails to act decisively in these cases, it sends a clear message that student safety is negotiable and the staff can endanger children without meaningful consequences. Child endangerment should be a zero-tolerance infraction, and we want to be provided transparency on the policy that governs this egregious action. If corrective actions across all levels simultaneously fail to comply with policy and fail to demonstrate commitment to student safety as the highest priority, then proper action needs to be taken immediately against all those involved to rectify this injustice. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good evening, Carly Holliday. I realized that since I became the president of the Cherry Creek Education Association in January, I have yet to address the board. So I thought the end of the year would be an appropriate time to finally introduce myself and to share a couple of the things that we have been working on this year. This is actually my 12th year at Cherry Creek High School, my 28th year of teaching in Colorado, and from day on the job, I have been a member of my union, and I have been, over the years, at times, incredibly proud of my association membership, and other times I have been disappointed. But in the end, I think what has always made it work is when a district and a union have a collaborative relationship like the one we have currently, that works together in the best interests of students and everyone who is impacted in our community by what it is that our schools do. So just to highlight a few of the things that have happened this year, we were proud to send dozens of people to walk and knock on doors for 4A and 4B. There are people who are very excited about the bond projects that you guys have put forward that are going to happen in all of our schools. Close to home at Cherry Creek, I know there are a lot of teachers in the West Building that are very excited about the future to come. We've spent time lobbying legislators. We have also worked with our local legislators, trying to make sure that they continue to support things like the School Finance Act. We have developed PD courses in conjunction with the district. We have done all kinds of things, so I'm excited. I hope that we'll be able to talk about them in the coming year so that you guys are more aware of how it is that we're involved in the district. Thank you.
President Garland, that's all for tonight.
Thank you. I'd like to call for a motion to approve the consent agenda, resolutions 25.5.3 through 25.515.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Directors Allen?
Aye.
Bates?
Aye.
Egan?
Aye.
Garland?
Aye.
Knowles?
Aye.
Motion carries. Our next regular board meeting is Monday, June 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at Falcon Creek Middle School, located at 6100 South Genoa Street in Aurora, Colorado. I'd like to call for a motion to adjourn the May 12th, 2025 Board of Education meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Directors Allen?
Aye.
Bates?
Aye.
Egan?
Aye.
Garland?
Aye.
Knowles?
Aye.
Our meeting is adjourned.